I'm standing here in the Sir and Bert Fried Social Hall of our shul. Why am I standing here? Because of this week's Parsha. Behind me on the top, you can see the exit sign, which indicates to people that this is where we leave. Sometimes you even have an emergency exit sign. So the Parsha begins, Vayakhel, that Moshe gathers the whole nation together. The end of last week's Parsha talks about Moshe being so intimidating. He had just spent all this time in Har Sinai with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that his face was shining. There were rays of light coming out, and he had to wear a cover, right? There was a fear, and he moved his tent outside of the camp. And now Moshe gathers the nation, and they come, and he explains to them again about what needs to be donated and how the Mishkan is going to be made. And then a couple psukim later, it says, Vayetzu kol adas b'nei Yisrael milifnei Moshe. Sort of the end of that section, that the nation leaves and departs from Moshe's midst. Asks Hagon Revelia Lopian, the great Baal Musar, who lived in the 20th century, Kfar Hasidim and other places. He asks, why do we need to know that they left Moshe? I mean, he gathered them. It's obvious that at some point the gathering was over. The meeting was adjourned, whether formally or informally, and they left. Well, obviously, the Torah is telling us something. What is he telling us? What is the value of the exit? Ravalia says something so beautiful. He says that there are different ways to exit. He says if you're exiting a bar, you could see somebody was just in a bar by the way they're walking. I recently saw a video of a person who was completely and totally inebriated, not in this country, not a Jewish person, somebody was holding him up as at his wedding, literally had to hold up his hand to get married, right? That's one type of exit. And the other type of exit is lo aleinu, when you leave a funeral, there's a silence. You leave a ball game, there's a rowdiness. That's not always so bad. And when you leave a levaya, and hopefully when you walk out of shul, there's a silence, there's a reverence. And Revelia said that the Torah has to tell us that Bnei Yisrael, that they left the presence of Moshe because there was a reverence, because they respected him, that Moshe commanded that respect. Children are taught at a young age that in a fire, you can't panic, you can't run. You could hurt other people, you could hurt yourself. There's a certain routine that has to be taught to the children, and they drill this over and over again in fire drills and other types of drills. Today, we have other types of drills, unfortunately, in schools that children will know what to do. Right? In the 50s, people got under their desks, air raid drills and all kinds of other things. But there's a way to exit. There's a Jewish way to exit. And there's a way to exit when you're in the presence of someone very, very special like Moshe Rabbeinu, talking about something special like the Mishkan. You can always tell about somebody by the way they exit. If there's a dignity, if there's a gait, if they're running. Rashi later on in the Chumash tells us that Bnei Yisrael ran away from Sinai like little children running out of school because they're excited. They don't want to be in school. They want to go home and play. And they were punished for that, Am Yisrael. They shouldn't have run away from such a special place. A lot of us adults now that wish we could still be in school and be learning and not have to work and do other things that we have to do. So there's value in the way that we exit. There's a lot that we can learn. And there's a lot that you could tell and indicate about somebody by the way they use that exit sign. Have a great Shabbos.